We were meant to be creating. I'm Tanya D., registered dietitian, and since we live in a body, have a soul, and are a spirit, I believe it's important to feed all three parts. So here's my recommendations for this month. You know, we are intuitive and powerful. We were meant to create the life of our dreams. So one thing to keep in mind is it's important to manage our energy so that we can channel our creative dreams and visions towards something that really speaks to our deeper calling and can be useful to the planet and other people. So here's some ideas for managing that energy. In the body this month, what I'm recommending is find ways to nurture your individual body. So everyone's body is different and everyone feels nurtured in different ways. Like, I like cream and sugar in my coffee. I feel nurtured by that first thing in the morning. I like yoga. I like naps. My body has told me over the years, this is how I like to be nurtured. And when I can give my body that nurturing, there's an openness to a creative energy that can flow because my body feels satisfied and listened to. So everyone's body is different. So spend some time figuring out what nurtures your unique body. In the soul, now remember, our soul is our mind, our emotions, and our free will. And our soul stores all of our memories and experiences since we were born. So we have an inner child. We have many inner childs, right? From the time we were born, we have these children that we remember that are still in there. And one of the things about inner child work is we learn to really acknowledge the needs of that inner child or those inner children. And what that can look like is maybe there's an acknowledgement that this inner child never was heard about this certain thing. And we spend some time really trying to listen to the inner child that we have inside of us and what that inner child needs right now. So often our inner children need support and understanding and need to be brought out into our adult life. So this is one of the ways that, again, we can manage our energy, because a lot of times the inner child's trying to get your attention. Hey, I still like to rollerblade. Why aren't you rollerblading? Or, hey, I never felt listened to about this thing, so can you please listen to me? Anyway, spend some time with this thought of being with your inner child, and that actually really helps to elevate this overall creative energy that comes from your soul. In the mind, now the mind is, science has even shown that the mind has a propensity to focus on the negative. So if we can kind of constantly reroute our mind back to being thankful and grateful and focused on the things that we can be thankful for, then this again tends to lighten our energetic load. So we don't feel so negative emotions and negative thoughts can pull us down. So constantly being thankful for the past experience that we did have, for what we have in the present, and for the hope of the things we have in the future. This can really help our soul to stay light. And light is energy, so we want to stay light. And in our emotions too can tend to get our attention, those negative emotions. So think about ways that you personally can elevate joy in your life. What makes you personally joyful? And one of the things to remember is as children, we liked to connect to other people on the playground. We didn't want to be playing alone. And one of the things we can do as an adult is take our inner child out and remember what that child liked to do, and go on a Ferris wheel, or go on a bike ride, or whatever that. Just remember to be playful so that you can elevate the feeling of joy, which will then be able to sustain your energy, and not be dragged down by those negative emotions. Now, in our will, this is where we find vision, our deep visions, where we can listen to what is that real creative thing that you've always wanted to do, but we keep it kind of buried down in there. Or what is your vision for your life, like a bigger vision for your life? The will is where we say, I will and I won't, I want and I wish, and really listening to our will and creating a vision around what we hear down there. And sometimes we might hear the most challenging things, like impossible things. But remember, we are intuitive and we're powerful. We're very creative. So never sell yourself short. You can do things, especially if your will is directing you towards those things. And when you follow those personal desires from your will, you tend to have a lot more joy, a lot more thankfulness. Your inner child's happy. You feel nurtured. So when you follow the real deep dreams of your soul, you will begin to feel more joy. So in the Spirit whispers to us. So the Spirit's voice is very soft. It's gentle, soft. It whispers. And when we have a vision, when we share that vision with God's Spirit, and we say, thy will be done. I have this vision, however, thy will be done. Well, God's will is to bring you the desires and dreams of your heart. So God will whisper ways to use your soul and your body to direct you towards that vision. And you have to listen to this guidance that's actually directing you toward creating that life of your dreams. And one of the things I do, this is a funny little thing that I do, but I actually ask, should I do this? And I will hear yes or no. And so you can ask. It says in the Bible, ask God's Spirit, ask God and you shall receive. And oftentimes, if we ask and we're listening for the whisper, you will get the guidance that you need. Yes, do this. No, do that. So don't be afraid to ask, and then try to follow what you hear, because sometimes it goes against our will, but God's will is wiser. It sees a bigger perspective. So when we ask and we hear the whisper of, no, don't do that, but we want to do that, just really try to give God's whisper a chance first and see how that works out for you, because then you might be in this amazing creative flow where you're able to bring forth your soul and your desires, your intuition about what you would like for your life and how you would like to serve others. And God comes and whispers directions on how to do it. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm Tanya D. My company is Y'all Light, a movement to ignite the light within, go in grace, and go with grace. Have a great month.